Coming up on this episode of the Village Idiom.
Is that what the 4-H comes from?
We're playing our own version of Riddling.
The Illuminati.
So, hands down comes from horse racing. They measured their horse by hands. 44HH, 4H club, 4 of clubs.
Illuminati.
Dum dum da da, Village Idiom.
Hello and welcome to the Village Idiom.
We are a podcast that every week takes a popular saying and we take a popular saying, take a shallow but hopefully comedic, once while even interesting, dive into its meaning, its usage, its origins, but we're also going to use it to hang our otherwise directionless conversation on. My name is Jurassic Mark.
And I am Skinny.
I feel like if I talk faster, we can get through it quicker, but that's not helpful because it's a 30-minute, no matter how fast I talk.
Well, it could be 29 minutes.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
It's so good to be here. That's one way. And we're the most timely podcast, without question.
I almost just said it.
Of all podcasts, we are clearly...
We are.
We got to be literally in the top 5,000 Canadian podcasts from British
Even
Columbia.
if we narrow it down more, I don't think we get in the top 5,000.
Easily.
In the top... In the top Canadian podcasts about English idioms, we might be in the top 10.
Top 10, without question.
No doubt in the mind at all. Unquestionably.
That's hilarious.
Oh, man.
Well,
yep.
It's a great week. It's a great week. And we're feeling that this is going to be our best podcast. Hands down.
Oh, the best I've ever seen, ever. Hands down.
Hands down.
That's it.
My pants.
Well, that's one that got weird. Anyways,
hands down is the idiom du jour.
Yeah. I feel like it's like the best of something.
Yeah.
Like, hands down.
It is the best. That's it. I don't know if you put notes for how it's used, but I just wrote 2 words. I wrote easily. So like if you're saying it's easily this, it's this, hands down. Or unquestionably, it's unquestionably this. It is that. Unquestionably.
Is it questionably or unquestionably?
Unquestionably.
Unquestionably.
Because you're not questioning it.
It's without question.
Yeah, it's hands down.
It's question free.
Hands down.
I like it.
Right?
Well, great week.
Yeah, how's your week been? The sunshine is still going strong. We had a little reprieve, but...
it's fantastic. It's so thick and muggy all the time. Easily the moistest summer, hands down.
Is it moistest or moistest?
I don't know. It feels moistest.
Moistest. Is it moister?
I don't know. Underneath my armpit, it's moister. It's disgusting right now.
It shall remain a moistery.
Ew.
Off the air, I think you should tell this story. Off the air, you were talking about the best cake, and I think it applies hands down. The best cake. You were telling me about your wedding cake.
Oh,
and in the use of the idiom hands down, this cake blew my mind.
Hands down,
which all started from you just going, "What's your favorite cake?"
One of the best wedding cakes was my own.
Out of all your weddings,
out of all the weddings I've been.
The groom in. It was clearly the best. I would argue say out of all the weddings you've ever attended.
I've actually never seen another cake like it. It was its own creation by my mother, who is an excellent cake decorator. Fantastic. And so this particular cake was done up like a church. And I kid you not, it had to be 4 feet tall. It had like full out like spire and pillars.
So was it tall and narrow?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, yes.
Not 4 feet wide.
But tall and narrow. And inside the church were cake bears that were like a foot tall each. And so,
please tell me one of them was holding a ring.
Yeah. No, it was a groom bear, a bride bear,
no ring bear.
Oh, that's so twisted. I'm seeing stars. And so this cake was, beautiful and obviously decorated right up, and the bride, the groom, and then off to the side were fountains with like a dyed water in it that were the same colors as the wedding colors.
This is the part of the
ride. It was the most elaborate cake.
So did you have it tabletop? The whole thing? Or is it on the ground? It's 4 feet tall. Like
No, it was on top of a table.
on top of a table, so 8 feet in the air, basically.
It
and
was
the
a big
fountains are
cake.
like active, like liquid active,
Yes.
spewing fountains.
Yes.
Did you see it before the wedding, or did you walk into your own reception and just go, "Holy crap"?
No, well, she asked what I'd wanted, and I just
That's what you described.
And I made up this imaginary scenario.
No.
And she created it in reality.
No way. That's even better.
Hands down, best wedding cake.
That is great.
Are you more of a cake or a pie guy?
Between the two, definitely pie. 100% pie. I mean, I'll eat cake, but pie's got variety. Although
Cake has variety.
cake is cake. It's just
Like a pancake versus a tuxedo cake.
okay. That's variety. You're right.
There's at least two choices.
It's like cow pie versus apple pie.
Exactly.
No, I
Is
would.
there straw in my apple pie?
I'm an apple dessert. So apple crisp, apple turnover, apple. I'm missing one. Apple pie, apple crisp, apple turnover.
Well, you
apple,
can go a strudel. You can do an apple Betty. You can do an apple
What's an
buckle.
apple Betty? What's an apple? What are you talking about right now?
It depends on how you do your topping.
Like just like
There's a
on
Betty.
your belt, you got an apple.
There's a beddle. There's a buckle. There's a Betty. Whether you do
Are you speaking real baking things? right now?
yes, yeah. Depending on if you use like oats or whether you do like it's like that cakey strudely type. There's different toppings that you can put on that make it either a buckle or a Betty.
You're blowing my mind right now. But anyway, if it's got apples and cinnamon underneath it,
Sure.
I'm eating it.
That sounds good.
Apple fritters,
Yeah.
yeah. Apple dumplings.
Are we just doing okay? Okay, I can do this. Apple.
Leisha. You can't come up with one, get you?
Well, we did have one when we were on holidays. We had apple butter.
Like actual spreadable butter.
It's called apple butter. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't eaten it
Tastes
yet.
like apples?
I don't know. I haven't eaten it yet. But it was like in a jar for a gift from a friend. Apple butter. Like, so do you want some apple butter? I made it. Yep. Haven't eaten it.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know if it's the kind of like
something you spread, or you just get a spoon and eat it.
I don't know yet.
Well, you going in blind? What are you going to do with it? Are you going to Google it?
Well, I don't know. I imagine I'm going to put it on some toast or something. Get a big spoon of apple butter, just like you do regular butter. You just get a big spoon of it.
Yeah, totally.
Start eating it.
I get
up.
it. I hear
You
you.
know how it is.
Yeah.
Well, so anyways, hands down, I would have to go
Anyway, the cake sounds amazing.
with my mom's wedding cake as the best, hands down, wedding cake all time.
Totally. And you're that's today's idiom, hands down, and we're using it exactly how it says. Like unquestionably best cake I've ever heard described.
Ever hands down.
I can't believe you've never even. I've seen your wedding pictures, but I've never seen this cake.
Yeah, well, I'll have to show you.
Seriously.
Yeah, it was a winner.
And
Yeah.
you kept it, or no? You wanted to
Okay,
keep
so
it.
the idea was that because there was two bears, and you want to have some sort of celebratory. You know how some people give like away like little wedding knick-knack type things. I can't remember what mine was.
Yeah.
But we thought it'd be fun to keep the bears and then enjoy them like as like a, 1 year, 5 year, or 5 year, 25
See,
year.
this is
10 year.
where I stopped you. I said we should start
10 year.
recording because can you freeze a cake and eat it a decade later?
Well, sure. That sounds like what the astronauts do. All the astronauts do it. That's all they do is eat frozen cake and things and stuff.
Yeah.
Deep frozen. So if you take a cake and you freeze it, I'm not saying it's going to be the best tasting cake that you ever
But
had.
you can say you did it.
You can say that you did it. So if it's like this cake
I guess
is
you
literally
grin and bear it.
but within like the first year, it's like who's taking care of stuff, and you have like some apartment size like freezer situation, and so you're not going to give up that much space for that long to
Right.
frozen
For
bears
20 years later.
And I remember like looking at it and it's like all chipped and freezer burnt and
Right.
icing's falling
Have
off.
your cake and eat it 2 decades later.
Yeah, be growing. It's
Yeah.
larger. This cake is
Plus, you move a couple times.
one of the most disgusting was a freezer burnt cake that it was at Red Robin's. They used to do this chocolate peanut
Mud
butter pie thing.
The mud pie?
Okay, and so
That's just ice cream, though, right?
you'd go and I would just like as an evening dessert with we're out with friends and have this. Well, mine was freezer burnt. It was like, this doesn't quite taste right. I don't want to be the guy.
Right.
And I ate it. I was so sick. I was barfing my guts out, and I've not eaten it since.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it messed with I just can't mentally crossed the threshold now.
I just had food poisoning.
Sweet.
Last week from peaches.
It's all about you, isn't it?
But I'm ready for more peaches. It didn't stop me. It didn't make me go.
Are you sure when you bite into the next peach?
I think we
You've already
should go
eaten
to Red
since?
Robin and get some peaches and mud pie. Peanut butter mud pie.
That
Mile
sounds
high.
good.
Mile high mud pie? Something.
Mile high. It was a mile high.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was.
I love that dessert.
There was a metric ton of puke. I can tell you that.
Well, you can only feel better by putting your hands down your throat.
I didn't need to. I was doing it by myself. My uvula. So, anywho, Vila.
Wow.
Let's, now that we know a little bit about this fantastic
well, before
idiom.
we get into origins, I don't always have the game, but I've got the game. And I've changed the game a little bit to give you some guessing chances at what the idiom origins the idiomatic originality might be. So less information, sort of bullet points.
Okay.
Because then if I give all of it, then I've got nothing to talk about during origins.
Okay.
All right. So I'll give you 3 choices here.
In Thailand, in 1342.
The idiom hands down comes from poker. So a revealed winning hand. Everyone around the table has hands. A revealed winning hand at poker would cause the other competitors to put their hands down. It's a clear winner, hands down.
Wow. Okay. I've watched a decent amount of televised poker. I witnessed with my own 2 eyes a poker tournament a couple days ago. I've never heard.
It's about the origin. It doesn't mean they're shouting it every round.
But I think it would have come up by now.
Okay, that's one. Number 2, it comes from voting. When a vote was determined by the raising of hands, the results were often stated, followed by the words, okay, hands down. So, for example, by unanimous decision, Skinny will be the new class president. Hands down.
Like playing the 7-Up game.
Yeah, it's like starting over. But it was always said after a winner was revealed. Therefore, it grew a new meaning.
You're the class president.
Meaning.
Okay, hands down.
I'm saying too much. I should just say my one sentence. Okay, number 3.
You did elaborate on that.
Sorry about that.
Which makes me think there might be more.
Horse racing. Number 3, horse racing. What do you think?
That's a little out there.
If a horse is so far ahead of the rest of the pack, I don't know if they're called a pack, but like professional
like smokes
horses and jockeys, the jockey would relax letting go of the reins before the actual win. Therefore, he would win hands down.
Oh, so he was just being cocky at that point.
Basically, yeah.
Putting his little mini jockey
Or you're
hands.
so far ahead, you no longer need to urge the horse.
So you're just going to win
Just
it.
like coasting.
I'm going to have to go with horse.
What? That was a quick answer.
Well, because I think the other ones are made up. The poker one, I think I would have heard by now.
Right.
And then class president. Sounds
And
like,
I know I never became class president.
Sounds like you ran out of time.
You for sure made
and
that up. I was never class president, sucker. All right, well, should we find out? Mm-hmm. Oh.
Where'd they go? Where'd they go? No one can know. I turned around and looked behind. Those words came from another mind.
Well, my friend, you are exactly right. It comes from horse racing and jockeys letting go of their reins because they're so far ahead, they're going to win hands down. Like, they're going to win without trying. Is kind of how it was used originally. So,
Interesting.
This is how origins is going to go today. The origin of the idiom hands down is found in horse racing history and dates back to the middle of the 19th century. When a horse was so far ahead of the rest that a win was assured, the jockey would loosen his grip on the reins and drop his hands as he and his horse approached the finish line, therefore winning hands down. No question. So we can throw some dates at this a little bit if you want.
Sure.
In 1832, the expression was literal. So here's a quote from, I think I forgot to write down the source, but Independence, which was the name of a horse.
Did I change my answer? It sounds made up.
Independence won with hands down. By 1853, it was already being used metaphorical, so a couple decades. They had enough time to have tried their wedding cake a few times. It was metaphorical. She won, this is another quote, she won with the most perfect ease imaginable, little Sherwood going past the post, hands down. What? That still sounds like it's about horses. But
Or rappers.
Or rappers?
Lil Sherwood.
Little Sherwood coming at you.
Or a small person.
Lil Sherwood.
Lil
Sherwood. Who would?
Sure would.
By then, to win hands down was to win easily, changing the meaning a little bit, without effort. The metaphor of ease extended beyond the domain of horse racing almost immediately, which is how it is used today. The all-purpose marker for a no-contest victory. I love that sentence. Isn't that great? What is hands down? It is the all-purpose marker for a no-contest victory. Sometimes words just are great.
You love the language.
I love the language. This is something I thought about. So that's the extent of origins. But I thought about, speaking of horses and hands down, that completely unrelated, horses are measured by hands. So the height of a horse is X number of hands.
Mind blown.
Right?
Right.
So there's something between horses and hands and horses. So I looked it up, and they do it today. You can buy a tape measure that's in hands. So it predates, metric system and proper measuring tools. So people would just use hands, and it would be a guess. Now today, a hand is 4 inches. So basically,
is it sideways 4 inches?
It has to be, because that's
unless they're using like little people hands, child hands.
I think in good old-fashioned cowboy and Indian movies, you see actual handprints going up the horse sometimes, painted.
That looks like about 4 inches.
Yeah, this
side
way.
to side.
This way. Handshake.
Right.
Landscape mode. Landscape hands versus portrait hands.
So stupid. Yeah, because you wouldn't know. There's obviously... Like this,
and
this seems better,
and it's probably more likely.
You're like, where is he starting? Is that's too much wrist, Frank? It's
right?
Like, no, that's not.
And
a
you're
full
also
hand.
able to, like, I would say most people are going to have an average width this way, landscape mode, whereas
they can
piano
vary
player
a lot.
fingers,
right? Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah,
that makes sense. So sideways hands.
So yeah, just out of pure nostalgia, they still measure horses' height in hands, and so you get yourself a tape measure that's in hands, because who wants to do the math? Like,
really niche market.
Okay, your horse is 96 inches tall. Okay, divide that by 4, and okay, my horse is whatever hands. So they even got abbreviation. We might do mm for millimeters or whatever. So it's 44 HH is your horse.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that what the 4-H comes from?
We're playing our own version of Riddling right
the
now.
Illuminati.
So hands down comes from horse racing. They measured their horse by hands. 44 HH, 4H club, 4 of clubs.
Illuminati.
By the way, the most prized horse to have won both amateur and professional races, the horse's name was Illuminati.
Exactly.
Just kidding.
Just to tie all the nonsense together. Well, that is surprising.
Yeah.
And there is it's funny. My wife and I had this funny. I was teasing her the other day. We were driving the trailer somewhere through like the north side of, or the south side of, anyways, in the middle of
the north
nowhere.
side, or is the
somewhere
south
in the
side.
east-west area.
I just think there's a niner in there.
Anyways, and I was like just driving my mind was all over the place, and she's like, "There's a stop sign," and I went just like sailing. I just went sailing through it. But I swear that her hand motion was like up, like there's a stop sign, like, which means, are you an idiot?
Right.
And then she was claiming that it was a reach in panic grabbing of stuff.
It wasn't like there you go.
And so
that's a stop sign.
So then the debate for the next 10 minutes, so you married folks can appreciate how stupid this gets sometimes, was, I'm pretty sure your hands were up. When you were like, it was kind of like,
hands are down.
It was,
hands down.
It was like I was like, and stop sign, like disgust, like, oh, I'm married to an idiot. Versus a hands, I'm reaching to save my life. Anyways, so you can see how that could rage on for.
You got to just go with words said. End of argument.
Yeah, you can't impose intent to
No.
the up hand, down
what
hand.
was said? If this came to you in a text, what would you have read?
Yeah, exactly. And then, so we're like, it's finally, our stupidity is settling down. And then my son from the back, as mom raises her hands in disgust.
Says that?
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. It's just like throw some gasoline on the fire. Hands down. Hands up.
There. This is not a choose your own adventure. Be quiet.
It's the difference of the hands up, hands down. Yeah.
That's interesting. The hands up or hands down, now we're way off topic, but that changes a lot gesture-wise.
So if you're sitting as a passenger and you reach for, like, your life is in, you're going to be hit by a train, crossing a railroad crossing, you don't stop for the stop sign, which way do your hands go?
Well,
You're stopping
it depends on the fear factor.
Okay.
Was she actually reaching for...
immediately, your hands are down. Okay.
What? That looks up to me.
Directionally.
Oh, palms.
Palms, hands,
Oh,
palms.
is this what we're talking about?
Yes.
Palms up,
Palm
palms
direction.
down?
Did I not make that?
Oh, no, I thought
Sorry.
it was like
Oh, I see.
this. You'll have to watch YouTube to get my intention.
Okay,
What's the
so
difference
for
between
audio version-
there's the stop sign versus
nose.
there's the stop sign.
So it was
There's the stop sign.
There's the stop sign. Hands up.
That's
Like
stop
palms
sign.
up. Versus
That's a stop sign.
that's the stop sign. Like I'm reaching for something. Do you naturally reach for protection?
I don't know.
Anyways, this is how this conversation proceeds.
Were you aware of the
next time-
stupidity, or were you
Oh
guys
yeah,
getting
no,
on
we
each other's
were half
nerves?
laughing. No, everything was
Oh.
fine. Yeah, so it was. This is the back and forth. We enjoy a good banter.
Sure.
That's a metaphor. Yeah, yeah,
Back and forth, hands down.
yeah, yeah. It's good. So who knows if that means anything? But
That's funny.
Hands
yeah.
up,
So
hands
there you
down.
go. You won that argument, hands down. I'm just saying.
I don't think it. And guaranteed that if she listens to this podcast, it will be a loss, hands down.
And if she does listen to this, do you have anything you'd like to say right now?
I'm sorry.
You were fine. I ran a red light or stop sign. Oh, speaking of, we won't get into it now for the sake of time, but I will tell you.
Is there an end to your
The
adventure?
saga continues. I have a new court date,
Okay.
but it's not till October. Just leave it at that.
Oh, okay. So we got time.
Yeah.
To prepare a defense.
Yeah. To prepare defense. Hands down.
The physics don't apply to you somehow. Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Well, Riddling is a game we like to play that takes a two-part trivia-based question and requires a two-part but overlapping answer, overlapping by syllable, sound, word, words, or full complete sentences. For example, last week we left you during our idiom episode 134, Get Into Deep Water. We left you with this one. What do you get when you cross an idiom for H2O trouble with a sometimes seedless summer shareable fruit?
Something about watermelon.
So I just said our idiom was get into deep water.
Oh, deep watermelon.
There you go. Getting into deep watermelon. That's how you play the game.
Perfecto.
So I've got a couple with today's topic in mind.
And I have a couple as well, and we are working hands down. So let's get into this. Rapid writing with abbreviations and symbols comes easily to me.
Rapid writing with symbols. What?
With abbreviations and symbols.
Say the whole thing again.
Our illegitimate children, chime in here.
Oh, I got it.
Rapid writing with abbreviations and symbols comes easily to me.
Short hands down.
Short hands down.
Nice. Okay, I got one. You ready?
All right.
He won the horse race unquestionably, but followed the itsy bitsy spider.
Hands down the water spout.
That's it.
Oh.
I was hoping you'd sing though.
Well,
Hands down came the rain and washed
I
the
see.
spider out.
There's more to it. All right. Without much effort, I televised the Crawley family and their servants.
Without what? Say it again.
Without much effort, I televised the Crawley family and their servants.
The Crawley family.
And their servants.
Hands down Abbey.
Hands down, Abbey.
I'm like, I didn't recognize Crawley family, but then when you re-emphasized, and their servants.
Yeah.
I'm like, servants.
They're into servants on TV.
Got your servants right here.
That's
Yep.
good.
That's
Well-
good. I got one more, but tell everybody how they can order
Illegitimate
HelloFresh.
children, we love hearing from you. Please reach out to us on Instagram at the.village.idiom or email us thevillageidiompodcast@gmail.com, or whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or the Twitters at 3 minutes gone.
I just need a special guest to join me for this last puzzle. Come here. Come over here. Get in.
All right.
Get in the middle. Quick,
Special
quick.
guest.
Come in the middle.
Special guest.
This Riddling is for you. This is my daughter. And here's our Riddling that we're leaving for all our Village Idiom children. An undoubtful win for Trisomy 21.
An undoubtful win for Trisomy 21. Man, I have to put it together. You have to know something or you don't know something.
There you go.
It's fun putting today's podcast together. We hope you enjoyed it. Again, you're right, honey. I'm skinny.
I am Jurassic 630 Mark because it's hands down.
And these are the Village Idioms.
Last 3 minutes gone.